She doesn't even go here.
I'm bi, actually.
Excuse me. Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office?
Hi, I'm Kurt Homo, and I'll be auditioning for the role of kicker.
Hello! Thank you so much for watching Not So Straight Nerds. Welcome in, welcome in. My name is Alicia.
I'm Luke.
And today we are talking about One Battle After Another, the most recent Paul Thomas Anderson film and Leonardo DiCaprio film. So, hope you're excited. We've heard good things and we have good thoughts.
Yeah, I will say the lead up to this movie was very interesting. Like,
Yeah.
lead up, commercial, advertising for this movie through watching it for the first time. Such an interesting experience.
Yeah, and I want to point out that our audience was not who we really expected. It was a lot of older folks, which is interesting for where we live and what this movie's about. But nobody seemed to leave, and everybody seemed to have a good time and laugh and whatever. So I thought that was fun to witness. Anyways. Should we talk about...
Well, first, before we started our conversation...
Vibe check.
We have a vibe check to do. Gosh. Tell me, how are you doing?
Tell me more. We're kind of chaotic this morning. I'm chaotic because I went to a wedding last night. Weddings just like open up something crazy in people, I feel like. I have not been to a wedding since for probably 5 years, I would say. So it's been a hot minute. So anyways, I cried 6 times, and so good luck to me on y'all's wedding. I should just not wear makeup, honestly. But anyways, it's okay. It's okay. It was a really good time. But I'm very tired. I'm very I slept for a long time, and I still in my body feel tired. Not really in my brain, but I just feel exhausted still. It's weird. But I don't get out a lot, so that happens when I get out and dress up and be fancy and wear heels. Anyways, I have a bruise on my foot, and I don't remember how I got it. So there you go. That's how the night went.
So
what about you?
I'm doing good. I've been watching movies. I've been playing video games. I've been having a normal weekend, which I feel like we haven't had in a while. So
it's been crazy.
Enjoyable.
Yeah. I'm hoping next weekend will be more chill too, because I don't think either one of us have anywhere to go, which that's the first weekend in a while that's happened. So, which is good because there's 3 movies coming out next weekend. So, anyways, yeah, I'm excited to talk about this film. I had a good time. We watched it in a nicer theater with a bigger screen. I'm very glad we did. I think this movie's great, and I'm ready to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But before we actually talk about it, per Alicia's wishes, we are going to be ranking the Leonardo DiCaprio movies that we have seen.
Now, we decided that we're kind of going to rank them just based off the overall movie. And I don't know how accurate that is. Let me just warn you right now. I really don't have a strong preference for where most of these movies are on this list. I don't really care. I don't remember some of them. I remember the vibes of them. So I'm going to just warn you now. You're going to think I'm crazy, and maybe I am, but
Too late.
whatever. Yeah, no, honestly. And then we're not ranking the Paul Thomas Anderson films because I think, can I speak for both of us when I say we've only seen 2?
Correct. That is correct.
Including the one we're going to talk about today. We've seen this one and Licorice Pizza.
Well,
so.
okay, let's rank them really quick. Of the 2.
Oh, don't ask me to do that.
Well, I easily
Roxy.
will. I think between the 2 films that I've seen, and I don't think it's a crazy distance between them, but my favorite is One Battle After Another. And then I would put Licorice Pizza.
I guess I would say that too. Licorice Pizza's hard because to me it's a perfect movie, except for the fact that they have this weird ass age gap, and it kind of dims the film for me. That, and I feel the Bradley Cooper bit goes too far.
That's I
It's
would
just
so
weird.
cut that out of the movie because I don't
Yeah.
think it's funny at all. It's so
No,
weird.
it's just straight up uncomfortable, and I know at some points it's supposed to be, but I don't feel it adds enough to excuse that. So I do think that's fair. I would agree with that. I would do the same ranking.
And
So,
there's
there you go.
nothing in One Battle After Another that makes me feel even remotely that way.
No, same here. So I have seen, as far as Leonardo DiCaprio films, I've seen 12. Technically, on a technicality, I've seen 13. And I'm talking about Inception, so that's my honorable mention, because gun to my head, could not tell you a single thing that happens in that film. And so for that reason, I'm not putting it on the ranking, because that's basically, I haven't seen the film, in my mind. Clearly, I need to rewatch it. Which, isn't that the one where people say is kind of confusing anyways?
One of them for sure.
So maybe that's why. Maybe my brain just got overwhelmed and I shut it out.
It is
my mind.
it's very bold. It's a very bold and visually interesting movie.
Yeah. So there's like a few of his films that I still need to watch. I think I counted 4. But I've seen most of the heavy hitters and maybe a couple of the somewhat smaller ones. But
I'm definitely missing some of the bigger ones. But I will say, I didn't think I had seen as many as I did until I counted them up, and I'm happy with most of the ones that I have seen. So
yeah.
I do definitely want to make a point to catch those ones I've missed.
Yeah, me too. All right. So I'm gonna go first, and I have my first 4 written down.
Yes, because I've only seen 9, so she's catching up, so we can go to the trade-off.
Yes. So my number, I'm just gonna turn around and go in order. My number 12 is Don't Look Up. I feel like I didn't really care either way. I don't feel like I hated any of these films, I will say. But I feel like these 4, I have like heavily mixed feelings
Wolf of
on.
Wall Street. I was like, what's the wow?
Don't Look Up, I feel like the cast was really fun. Clearly, they were, having fun, getting a paycheck, whatever. I feel like I like some of the things that they talked about, but I don't really remember much outside of that, other than I also felt like parts of it were weird and heavy. I don't know. Maybe it was the time that I was watching it. Maybe if I rewatched it now, I'd like it better. I don't know. Or worse. No idea. Yeah, like I said, my ranking's all over the place. I really don't care. Like, Don't Look Up could easily be in the 9th place. Like, I don't care. Then I put The Great Gatsby. I feel like this movie wanted you to feel, like, awesome. But at the end of the day, I feel like he's just kind of creepy. Yeah, and I don't like certain parts of this movie. I need to see another version, I think. Because I feel like the story might be better. I just wasn't totally wowed by this version. I liked certain parts of it, disliked other parts of it. Killers of the Flower Moon is interesting because I do feel like I liked it more than you did, I would say. But I still feel like it's so deathly long. Oh my god, it's so long. Which is interesting because this film, One Battle After Another, is fairly long, I would say, for like not a blockbuster film. But I love its runtime. I think it's perfect. I never feel like the pacing is off. I never feel like it's too long or whatever. I feel like it's a perfect amount of time. So that's interesting. I will also point out that Killers of the Flower Moon is just a streaming movie, so that can also affect things. Like maybe seeing it on a bigger screen would have made me like it more. Usually just in general, I feel better about films I've seen on screen because I just can appreciate the craftsmanship more. So I do want to point that out. But I liked certain parts of it. I would say I'm not wowed by his performance in the film. But I do really adore other performances, and they should have won an Oscar. But anyways, it's fine. The Wolf of Wall Street, I do like his performance, and I like Margot Robbie's performance. I love Margot Robbie's performance. She's doing great work there, and she's so young in that film. But I do just feel like overall nasty about like how like toxic manly the film is. So it's not quite for me as much as it is for a lot of men. Like for a lot of men, it's like their favorite film. So that will not be me personally. So there you go. But I can still appreciate parts of it, a lot of parts of it even. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Starting at my number 9, this is a movie I think you haven't seen. but it is Woody Allen's Celebrity.
Yeah.
I literally completely forgot about this movie until I was like, why does it look like this poster on Leonardo DiCaprio's IMDb page look familiar? And I look it up. Yep, it is a stacked cast, but it is such a boring and forgettable movie. It is insane to have a cast just completely blown and wasted.
Yeah.
Bizarre. So bizarre.
Well, Woody Allen deserves worse than that, so boo for him. Okay, I guess I'll do my number 8.
Go for it.
I put my number 8 as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is kind of where I'm like, I didn't really know where to put this film. I feel like I don't remember huge parts of this film, but I do remember some. I remember really liking the cast, and this is one of those films where like most of the rising stars or unknown stars are now like well known. Like Mikey Madison is in this film. Margaret Qualley was in this film. I think Sydney Sweeney was in this film. Like quite a lot of people that are now much more well known. And of course, you have Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Margot Robbie. So heavy hitters there. So the cast is great. I do remember liking parts of this film. But I also feel like I need to give this another rewatch, I would say. Yeah. And I would be willing to do that. It's not one where I'm like dreading that. It's one where I'm like, yeah, I would totally rewatch this film. So, yeah. Anyways.
Sure. My number 8 is Killers of the Flower Moon. I fear, and I know people tend to like it. It doesn't have a huge audience, but those who have seen it really like it. To me, I think it's a bad movie. I think easily Lily Gladstone is the best part of it, but it feels like when they started making the movie, they didn't realize how great of an actor she was, and then like halfway through the movie, they're like, "Wait, we should like make more of the movie about her."
Yeah.
And I feel it is one of the worst performances from Leonardo DiCaprio I've seen, and from Robert De Niro. I think they don't do a good job, and I think their roles are horribly written. I think the pacing is horrible because it is literally an hour and a half of just seeing white people do horrible thing to the land natives. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't add anything for at least an hour and a half. And it's just the same note over and over again. Mm-hmm. And to a point where it almost seems like it's almost trying to be like funny with just how like in your face it is about the whole thing. But it's like not... It's so weird to me. I can't understand the love of it. I love the representation of the idea of what this story is supposed to be, but I feel like the execution it really fumbles for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's hard because I like some Martin Scorsese films, but yeah, I can see that. It's just way too long.
And I think this was my first Martin Scorsese movie I watched, and it was...
Wow.
I fear a really bad jumping on point for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. My number 7, and I'm probably gonna catch Trace for this, so I'm so sorry, but I put The Revenant. I feel like I really liked Leonardo DiCaprio's performance, of course. I mean, he won an Oscar for it for a reason. I mean, long overdue, way long overdue. But, yeah, I do think there's a good reason that he won the Oscar for this. There's a few others. I think Tom Hardy's, I believe that's who I'm thinking of in this film. Am I crazy? I don't know. There's some other performances that I think I remember that I like, whether or not it's them or somebody else. Anyways, but I do feel like this is also another movie where I feel like it's just not super up my alley to begin with. So that's nothing really against the film. That's my truth about it, you know? I actually had to rewatch this. I tried to rent it, and like the first 10 or 15 minutes, there was so much insane violence that I had to turn it off. And then I came back to it like a year or two later and finished it. So there you go. It got like $6 for me or whatever instead of $3. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my number 7 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I actually just realized, similar to Killers of the Flower Moon, this was my first... Why am I blanking on his name? The director.
No.
Quentin Tarantino?
Yes.
Yes, this is my first Tarantino movie.
Really?
Yes.
Have you not seen Pulp Fiction?
I have after.
Okay.
I watched this, like, as soon as I think it was available, like, on streaming.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and it was my first kind of, and like, I think his movies are so unique, and I think it is a very unique style, and if you don't know what you're getting into, I think it is a lot. I also didn't know a lot about, like, the murders that are supposed to be, like, the central, like, event of the movie. So I fear, unlike Killers of the Flower Moon, I think there's just a lot that kind of went over my head the first time. This is definitely a movie I'd be interested in revisiting as well.
You know what I just realized? There's only one movie in this entire list that I've seen in theaters, and that's One Battle After Another.
Interesting.
Have you seen any of these? Well, I mean, some of them are in streaming. Like, Don't Look Up, Killers of the Flower Moon. Like, they were streaming.
No, I
movies.
think that is the only movie I've seen in theaters.
That's crazy.
So, something to be said.
Anyways, yeah.
Alrighty, your turn.
Oh, gosh. No.
Excuse me.
Okay. I put Romeo and Juliet. I don't remember a lot of this film. This is one of the older, like, as far as when on the timeline of when I saw these films. These are one of the older, earlier ones. So I don't remember as much about it. But I do remember he was hot as hell in this movie. And I think this is the only version of a Romeo and Juliet movie I've ever seen.
You've never seen Romeo and Juliet? We're putting it on the list.
No.
Oh my god.
I know about that, but I have not seen it. No. Yeah, I remember liking it. I think
you should give Romeo and Juliet a
remember
try.
the vibes. I'm not against that. Don't talk to me like I'm against that. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Romeo
Anyway.
and Juliet Erasure.
From who?
You.
No, I just
How
haven't
dare you.
seen it.
Anyways,
So
my number
sorry.
6 is also Romeo and Juliet. I had not watched this in a long time, but I was shown it in middle school, I think, whenever we were doing Romeo and Juliet, and I really enjoyed it. That might not be a good testament to its quality because, like I said, that was a while ago.
Me too.
But I remember it very vividly, parts
Yeah.
of it very vividly, and I think that says a lot for the time and being shown it in a public middle school.
Yeah. No, me too. I never got to the point where we read Romeo and Juliet. That was supposed to be my junior year of high school, and then they offered dual credit classes, so I took that. So I have actually never read Romeo and Juliet. I bought the book because everyone's like, you're going to read it at some point.
It's
So
a
I
play.
own it, but I have not read it.
It's a play. Like it.
Shut up. You learned that from me.
I know,
Thank
and I'm
you.
using it against you. Thank you.
Anyways. Speaking of classes, I saw Revolutionary Road. That's another film with him and Kate Winslet. They
I don't think
reunited.
I've
in
even
that film.
heard of that one.
That's a crime because this film is really good. There's also another couple in this film. 2 people that I know, and I can't think of off the top of my head. But I do remember loving this film. I watched it for a film class. I'm glad I did. I didn't know what to think about it before I went in, but it's really good. I would say. So, yeah.
My number 5 is Netflix's Don't Look Up. I watched it pretty soon after it originally dropped.
Yeah.
I think it's very fun. I think it also speaks volumes to our modern society.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I probably need to rewatch it. I think I would like it more.
Watching it right now, I would feel probably more similar to where the last season of The Boys is, where it's we can't do anything about it now, so this doesn't add a lot to the conversation. When it came out, I think perfect time to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Unlike The Boys, where now it's cool.
What are we gonna say about this?
That's already
Yeah.
happening. So you're just making me watch this again in my free time now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's my frustration with The Boys. Is that it's but yes, it's accurate, but I'm already living this. I don't want to watch it as entertainment again. Or unless you're going to actually do something about it and say something and have a message. like kind of like this film, I feel like it's very political, but it does something with that. So where it doesn't just feel like I'm reliving it for no reason.
In this movie, it's definitely meant to serve as a warning and to like look for the obnoxious behaviors that the people who don't care about other people are going to do.
Yeah.
And it's very unsubtle. I didn't know that before I went into the movie, but it's it's like painfully on the nose.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The performances I think are all really funny, so it works for me.
Yeah.
It was also the first movie I'd seen with Ariana Grande in it.
Damn. Okay.
Pre-Wicked.
Yeah. Okay. You haven't seen the movie where they combine like them and what is it, iCarly?
Is that a movie? I thought it was just a long episode.
I don't know, man. It's big. It's like movie length.
But
though.
yes, I've seen that.
I love that movie. It's so good. Or at least as a kid, I did. I don't know. I got at my number 4. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? I feel like I adore these top 5 for sure. He should have won an Oscar for this. Quite frankly, have you seen this film?
I've not.
You need to see this film. He's so good. Like honestly, this is probably my favorite performance by him. So if we were ranking it based off that, this would be at number 1. I would say this one or my number 3. We'll see. But really, he like so should have won the Oscar for this. I can't even fathom. I think he did get nominated, but he did not win. So it's a shame. It's a shame. But this is a great movie. Very sad movie. Very sad movie. So, yeah.
My number 4 is One Battle After Another. And let me be clear. There's a sizable gap between my number 5 and my number 4. These like up are like amazing movies that like highlight a generation.
Sure.
So, yep, super great. We'll talk a lot about it this episode. So I'll spare that, but yeah, this up I think Leonardo DiCaprio has an amazing agent.
Yeah, I agree. So, my number 3 is Catch Me If You Can. Have you seen this film?
I have not.
Another great film. It has Tom Hanks in it. He's great in the film. He has some, hits and misses. So, Leonardo DiCaprio is also amazing in this film, and it's very cool in the time if you were like smart enough and knew how things worked. If you were like Leonardo DiCaprio's character, what you could get away with, it's insane. But it makes sense in the time period, and I mean, you definitely could not do that now. So, or you'd have to do a lot more hard stuff. So, anyways, he's very smart in the film, and he does a very good job. So, yeah, there you
go. My number 3, in what I think Leonardo DiCaprio should have won his award circuit for, is his role in Django Unchained as Mr. Candy.
I still need to see that.
He is so good in that.
Is that the movie where he smashes his hand?
Yes, and then he keeps going.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Now, he's so crazy good in this role, and he's so scary. But he's also, like, he's very personable, and he's, like, electric in his performance. It's so crazy to balance someone who's so fun to watch, but still, like, such an evil character. Amazing performances, amazing scenes, very emotional, but super, like, badass. So good.
Cool. Yes, that's like probably that one or Inception are at the top of my list of ones I need to watch. Because like I said, I'm basically counting Inception as if I've never watched it. So, my number 2 is One Battle After Another. I loved this film. I'm very excited to talk about it. Warner Brothers has an interesting decision to make on what they're going to do with this film and Sinners as far as campaigning for Oscars. So, we'll see. Very interested. I hope they still give both their flowers pretty equally because I think they're both phenomenal films. And I hope they like win a fairly equal amount, but we'll see. See what the nominations look like first.
Completely agree. My number 2, I have Inception. This is my favorite Nolan movie. I think it's very bold. It's very mind-bending, so I can understand how people get lost in it, but I'm, like, right there with it. I also am one of the people who love Tenet, and there are people who just don't understand what's happening in Tenet, and I'm right there with it.
Okay.
This movie, So cool. Oh, love the cast. Love like all of the like little Easter eggs to like some greater thing. I think it's just so fun. So fun. So cool. Love, 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 love. And Leonardo DiCaprio, I think, does a fine leading role in it.
Sure. So I guess both of our number ones are Titanic.
And this is when I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about that.
No, I thought about, like, what if he said that? No. Titanic is so good. I can't remember when I first watched this film, but we rewatched it for your first time just like a month or two ago. Yeah. It was great.
And to be fair, when we say my first time, I have seen parts of this movie so much growing up. Specifically, my dad loves the part of the movie when the guy bounces off of like the engine, like the rudder in the air. Yeah. So I've seen that scene a lot.
Damn, okay.
But that was my first time seeing it beginning to end.
No, it's so good. Mm-hmm. The craftsmanship of it, like, I love also when I'm rewatching films, going through the IMDb of like trivia, and it's so interesting to learn how many times this film was so close to just completely falling apart and not happening. How over budget it was, but then obviously like they were fine after that. They're good. But even just like the amount of stuff that went wrong, but this film, like, you wouldn't even be able to guess that. It's crazy. You also, I feel like, wouldn't be able to guess that this film, for as long as it is, half of it pretty much is just the ship sinking, and you never get bored. The pacing is perfect. The
I love that,
entire runtime is perfect.
Both parts of the movie like feel very like equally important.
Yeah,
I think that's very impressive.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, I think both leading roles are phenomenal. No wonder they reunited someday. So, they're such good friends now, as far as I hear in the public eye. So, good for them.
Very fun. Leonardo DiCaprio, he's made some bangers.
Yeah?
Some bangers.
Certainly. So, even with some of the ones where we felt like he didn't give a good performance, like, I can still totally see why people consider him one of the greats. Like, I think that's totally earned.
And I will say, I think a lot of the times when I, like, in that list, the ones that I like would say I didn't like his performance, I don't even accredit that to him. I accredit that to like the script he was given.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I've seen him do such amazing work before, and I know I think he's so talented.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep,
so, that being said, we're going to jump into our full conversation on One Battle After Another. So, I wanted to ask what your first impressions were of this movie through its ad campaign.
So, I feel like the ad campaign was kind of bad as far as, like, getting across the point of what this movie is really about. Because to me, it was giving, like, just, like, straight-up comedy film. Like, I had no inkling whatsoever that this was political at all. I mean, not really. I guess there were guns in the film, but you just, whatever. You don't know what they're going to do with that. And it seemed like dumb humor too, which is weird because I feel like the jokes that they make in the trailer work really well within the context of the movie. But for some reason, it just seemed so dumb in the trailer. And I was very skeptical. I did not think I was going to like this film. And then I heard how long it was. However, then I did start to hear that it was actually very good, and it has a lot of political commentary. So then I was a little more like, okay, like the trailers were not that great, so let's see what it's really about. So I was a little more open-minded. I was still a little like worried that it was going to be overplayed, or overhyped, I guess. But I don't know. I'm very glad I saw it anyways. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Very glad I was wrong.
I will say, I think even after watching the movie, I think the trailers are just bad.
I think so too.
I think they're bad and not a great representation of the film.
Yeah.
Which I think, how can you miss both parts of making a trailer?
Yeah. I don't know.
So, but I think from what I'm seeing, it's still pulling a fairly good audience so far.
Good.
We'll see. We haven't seen the numbers for the weekend yet, so we can hope and pray.
Yeah.
But no, I think it also helped because I'd seen the trailer before I'd seen Licorice Pizza, and then even a while after that was when I found out that I think even like a day or two leading up to the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the same director as Licorice Pizza.
Me too.
I think I have some issues with the film, but I think the directing on that film is like super
amazing.
strong.
Yeah.
So that gave me a lot of hope. But I will say, regardless, I think the trailer put a really bad taste in my mouth because I was still being like, okay, everyone's saying that they love it. I'm still going into it hopeful, but I'm ready to not like this film.
Yeah.
And be okay with not liking this film and wasting over 2 hours of my life with it.
Yeah, well, I think after Killers of the Flower Moon, that's kind of where my head was at too. Of like, well, everybody still liked that film, and I was not a huge fan of it, especially not Leo's performance. So I was a little skeptical still. So I'm glad I'm wrong though. I'm glad we're so back. Whatever. This was a good film. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I completely agree. So
yeah,
I will say it's very weird to have a trailer be so like, I would say maybe centrist compared to a very, I would say, heavily liberal leaning film, aggressively so. How do you think audiences are going to feel with kind of that whiplash? And I'm going to say even just like general audiences.
I really don't know. But I feel like if it's anything like our audience, I feel like they're okay. I'm just so curious how they knew that they were going to be okay with this film. I don't know. Or maybe they didn't and they just stuck around anyways. I don't know. That'll be interesting. Because I do feel like... I don't know. I feel like for a lot of people, it takes a lot to leave a theater with as well, especially with how expensive it is. So I don't know. Part of me's like, good, make them stay, make them stay and hear it. So I don't know. I hope it makes people think and talk. I think that's the whole point. Even if they don't change their mind on things, hope it opens discussions. So
I think another element that I kind of think of is whenever the movie first starts, also I think great place to mention, we will be talking spoilers for this movie. If you want to see that movie before we get started into this conversation, we highly recommend this movie. We think this is a great movie. You can see it in theaters right now. Definitely see it when you can.
Yeah, even if you have to travel a little bit, I would say this is worth it for sure. Because especially if like you're into the Oscars and everything, like you're gonna want to watch this film because it's gonna be in the conversation for sure.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
So, but as I was saying, I think.
Sorry, go ahead. I was trying to help you out, but you remembered. It's okay. You're good.
I think a part of it might be them kind of unpacking how the revolution is portrayed really early on. Because I will say it's very interesting to see the adaptation of a modern major revolution being done in America.
Yeah.
We'll see if that it grows into anything we'll actually see in the future. But especially because this isn't even modern day in the early part of the movie. It's at least like 20 years ago-ish. So it's interesting to see how that kind of be adapted. And I feel like it shows the imperfection of it all. The kind of people drawn into something so big, so bold, obviously to like be the vocal point of it, as a lot of our main characters are. Yeah. You have a really big personality to kind of get people to follow you, follow behind you. And so I think there might be an element in why these people come in thinking this is a central movie and staying when they see what it is. I think an element might be them trying to see these flawed characters. Like, I almost wonder if they think the movie's making fun of these characters for being so big and out there.
Maybe.
I can see them being, I don't know if confused, but reading it that way. As them being like, look at these people, look at these crazy people that are fighting this government. I don't think that's the case, but they are very big personalities.
Yeah. Well, and I think it helps that the main character is more so Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's the more chill version of the couple that they start and establish. Sure. So, yeah.
So I don't know. I just think that might be an element of why people are staying, because I think I think early on there's an argument for, are you in on the comment? Are you on the side of the commentary, or are you not on the side of the commentary? I think I can easily see people not being able to tell what stance the director's taking. Yeah. Even though I think to me and you, I think it's clear that it's on the side of the revolution as they're the main characters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's people who watch The Boys and still think that Homelander's the hero. Like, you know, it could be so on the nose and they would still find a way to miss it. So.
No, completely.
But you know what? Either way, they bought a ticket. So, there you go.
Clock it.
Clock it. There you go.
No, so,
yeah.
I wanted to touch on some of the themes of the movie.
Yeah.
If you had to pick, like, one major theme of the movie, what do you think it would be? I think there's a good couple, but if you had to pick, like, the heart.
Oh, I would easily pick community as the heart of it. I think there are multiple examples of this. But just the daughter-father relationship, I think is such, like, they're just always linked, whatever is happening to them in their separate storylines. But they're just trying to find their way back to each other. I think the storyline of when the sensei guy, I don't know if he has a name, but they keep calling him Sensei.
Senso Sergio San Carlos is his name in IMDb.
Okay. I think when he's introduced as more of a main character in the film, when he's pretty directly intertwined with Leonardo DiCaprio's storyline, I think that's a huge part of what's starting to happen is just the community. He's constantly going around talking to people. They know what to do, which shows that they've talked about this before. They've planned for this before. They all help each other out. They're all hidden in certain areas. Like, it's just so, I would say, like, beautiful to see how strong of a community they have. I think it's very important as well. So, because even at some point, since we're talking spoilers, when they lose Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Bob, that's his name?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, to me, I thought that was it for him, but they went back for him, and there were people in places I was shocked to see. So
they have friends everywhere.
Yeah, I was telling you that, like, it's very Star Wars in that way, where it's like we have people everywhere, and I think that's great. I think that's done super, super well.
Yeah,
so.
I will say, I feel like this coming after Andor is like a perfect almost 1-2 punch.
Yep. I totally agree. Especially after Andor still got so much recognition at the Emmys. I'm so happy for them. I hope this gets recognition at the Oscars. Mm-hmm. So.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I would say it may be the main theme to me, or at least my favorite theme, is kind of the evolution of revolution, if you will. Put that on a pillow. And the idea of passing on the battle to the next generation, and like finding that balance between fighting for what's right and protecting those that you love.
Yeah.
But with the understanding that fighting this battle is for them, and tying into like another theme is that revolution does change a lot, and you know, this is a person who was really heavily into the fight 20 years ago. 2 decades into the future, it looks different now. And I think that there's some pros and cons to that, as the movie, I think, does really good at kind of exploring. It's like, you know, it's, if you think like Democrat versus Republican in politics, and I'm going to be like super vague here, but the idea, like the very stereotypical example of like Democrats, you know, people in that party mostly believe the same thing, but their bureaucracy constantly gets them at each other's necks within their own party. And I feel like that's an element you see here within this revolution. And I think that's very true. I think you can see that in Star Wars and in any kind of media that shows, you know, revolution versus empire. I think that's a very interesting element to unpack. But even though it's not perfect, it's still, you know, the side worth fighting for.
Yeah, I agree. And it's hard to stay mad at the fact that sometimes the side you want to be on does it like plays maybe too much by the rules, to the point where they don't get anything done. I think that's a very fair criticism in itself, but also it's hard to super stay mad at that because ultimately that is what you want. That should be the end goal. But yeah, I think that's a good conversation there, and I think this film explores that as well. So different sides of that, and yeah,
for sure. I also think it brings in. It is in a very, I think, pretty long running list of projects recently that very aggressively go into the idea of anti-fascism. And the thing that kind of shocks me is that all of this stuff is coming so early in our year of 2025, considering how long it takes movies to get made. So my thought is just, I think it's very interesting that so many different creatives were planning on projects like this over a year ago plus, so that it eventually comes out here in this year.
Yeah. I don't know. I could see that happening because I do feel like art tends to really, really, really reflect the political state of the world. Like when there were those string of horror movies that were discussing abortion, like right after Roe v. Wade, like I think that makes sense, and I think that's important. But I do think it's interesting how the timing kind of lines up. But I could see that happening just based off the presidential race, like that time period. Just them, like the fact that such an evil person had such a chance and then won. I could see that in and of itself raising discussion and story. So I don't know.
But either way, I'm here. Love anti-fascist storytelling.
Yeah, keep them coming because they're important and more people need to hear them. So
another part here that I think also separates it from some projects, I would say even just a few, specifically I would say like the last season of The Boys, is this movie remains, I think, hopeful, which I think is so important to these kinds of stories. And the idea that it is a big fight, it is a scary fight, and it's a fight that a lot of people, don't get to see won, but it's one that's very worth fighting, and there's, very clear reasons to, believe in it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that the family element, the community, like you were saying, I think really ties into that hope aspect here.
Yeah, I agree.
I also think there's one of the lower levels of themes here, is that there's an interesting look at, I would say, obsession here, specifically with Lockjaw and what was her name?
She had a long name.
Perfida Beverly Hills.
What a beautiful name too. Every time they said that in the film, I was like, I love that name. I don't know why. It just sounds like awesome. So yeah.
So both characters are very obsessive. One of which we see as a main character throughout the whole movie as our antagonist.
Yeah.
One of which we mostly only see in Act 1.
Yeah.
But both, I think, play a very interesting role in the theme of obsession.
Yeah.
Specifically, I want to start this conversation talking about Perfida and her kind of obsession with joining the revolution. And then, she gets caught, she gets captured, and then she rats out so many people.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Her family, and all of the people that she worked with in this revolution. And specifically, they make a really great point of showing that that she has a family now, that there's more at risk for her when she gets involved here. And instead of going the route of showing that it's still a fight worth fighting regardless and it's for her new family, I think it's a very interesting choice for it to go the matter. I'm fighting because I'm going to put me first. And then to turn around and be a rat. Yeah,
it's interesting.
I think it's interesting. I think there's also an added element of seeing her mothers. I'm assuming they're both her mothers. And the idea that she comes from a long line of rebellion fighters.
Yeah.
And then, she becomes a rat. Regardless of how she was raised, the family line, what she now has to lose with it, she still ends up ratting it out. And I think there's an interesting idea where she's obsessed with, the rush of it, the adrenaline of it, without maybe caring about what she's actually fighting for. And I think that's an interesting element. Do you pick up on that at all?
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. I'm glad you raised that point. I do think we see her get caught up in it, doing things that are unnecessary, especially with the sergeant.
Especially with Lockjaw.
Yeah. Wasting time doing things that are not necessary. Like, she's almost having fun with it, which is interesting. Because I brought up the fact that, it does create a lot of, I don't know how to describe it. It's very uncomfortable. Their relationship is very uncomfortable, and it's supposed to be. But... And it gives, it's like assault vibes, but then also there are several times where she could have killed him, she could have attacked him, and she doesn't, and I think that's interesting.
It's giving consent at gunpoint, but, they're into it.
Well, and also she's the one with the gun, so it's like, I don't know. It's hard to figure out, and I would love to... maybe read some articles on other people's thoughts about it.
I feel like their relationship is the most interesting part of this movie. Yeah. Even though the remnants of it are important to the movie as a whole. Yeah. But it really is an Act 1 showcase. And I think it's so fascinating.
I agree. But yeah, her character I think is the most interesting and the most difficult to figure out.
I would say the most dynamic might be a good word for it.
Yeah. That's the one I think we'd have to digest the most, and I want to see more people see this movie and talk about it, because I want to have those discussions, because I really don't know. I don't have conclusions to come to when it comes to her. It's just a lot of starting discussions, I guess.
For sure. And I will say, I love movies that leave things kind of open-ended and up for interpretation. I think that's great. I will say, one of the few downsides that prevent me from giving this a perfect score is that I feel like there is so much more to do in the movie with her. I would have loved some more, maybe set things to kind of fuel the discussion and have it be less in the air.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that's just a personal thing for me. But I think regardless, it's fascinating.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's fair.
Like the cat.
Yeah, he do be biting. I do think they maybe could have, because I don't even think she needed to be in the film more than she was to continue that discussion. I think they could have had that discussion just having that comparison to Bob instead. And maybe they did. Maybe I just have to think about it more. I don't know. But just my thoughts right now, I think maybe they could have done that more.
I agree. I don't think she needed to be in the film more to have that conversation, but I think having it through Lockjaw or having it through her husband. Exactly. Or in the letter that she leaves at the end. I think there's definitely places to include that conversation. Yeah. I think pretty organically as well. And I think they just don't, probably because they already have a very long run time. Yeah. But I think it definitely would have been worth having another scene to kind of get into that later on in the movie.
I agree. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, so interesting. Any other themes you can think of, or did we kind of nail them? Or at least the major ones.
Oh, I guess also, I don't know how to phrase this theme, but Lockjaw is a very interesting character to me because there's never a point where you like him, and you're not supposed to. But it's interesting how by the end he still becomes I guess a victim. He's killed at the end.
No, for sure. So, it's giving Andor once again, and I can't remember her name exactly. Deetra. Yeah. Where even the people involved in trying to create fascism and enforce fascism, they'll never have a place in it because it's not a system that
nobody ever
supports
wins,
security.
Really.
no one is ever safe in it because it's not for people to be safe. It's to attack people and subjugate people. So, no, super love the ending and the idea that, you know, he survives this horrible thing. There's an element to it where he knows that he can't belong to this Christmas Adventure Club, but it's something he's wanted for forever.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they try to kill him. He walks off a shotgun blast to the face.
It's crazy.
And then they still end up getting him. It's truly a lose-lose situation. And I think it's that's how it works, folks.
I agree. So, I'm actually like, I am like really glad how they, I don't know, it's one of those things where I would have been satisfied with the shotgun to the face ending, but it was like one of those things I didn't know what I would have missed. So I'm really, really glad that they continued that. And I think that was a message in itself. So a better message for sure. So,
yeah, for sure. So that being said, my next question is, who would you say, if you had to, was the best cast member?
I mean, this is actually kind of hard.
I think the performances, like, there's so many great things in this movie. Cast is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I would still probably say I'm really like stuck between Leonardo DiCaprio and Sean Penn, I would say. Honestly, I feel like Sean Penn better get a supporting actor nom, and honestly, I would say right now at least he has a good chance. Now we have Jeremy Strong in Marty Supreme, and Jeremy Strong is amazing and has got nominated before, so we'll see. But I think he did a really good job at being the antagonist in this film. And it's Sean Penn, like that's a big name too, and like I think the Oscars will recognize that. So I don't know. I really don't know how to decide between him and Leonardo DiCaprio. I can't pick. I'm not gonna pick him. What would you say?
I would say it is, my favorite is Chase Infinity as Willa.
She's so good.
I think that is an amazing performance, especially for the first time.
Did you see that Zendaya posted about her?
Love that for her.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Ugh.
She is. I am seeing her in discussions a lot, and as it should be. I think she's phenomenal. I would not mind at all as well if she got on some like maybe some short lists at least for a nominee. I don't know if there's gonna be room for her to like quite make the list. I would not be mad if she did though.
It reminds.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
I think it's very comparable to Sammy Moore's debut performance this year in Sinners.
Yeah.
I think both insanely strong starts. Although I have to say, not to put two baddies against each other, but I remember people saying, like when they were talking about what awards look like for Sinners, and people thinking that he should be nominated for his first performance ever in Sinners. I remember kind of having in my head, like, I think he does an amazing job. I think this is a great starting debut film for him. If I had to nominate someone, I don't think he would be even in my top, like, 5 from that movie, because I think the performances are all so good.
Interesting.
But here, I think Chase Infinity, she's my pick if I had to pick anyone. I think she just does such a great role. I think her and Leonardo's relationship is amazing, and the way they explore that when they're apart, I think is really powerful. It's I think she's just so talented. She has one of my, I guess she's in 2 of my favorite scenes of the movie.
Interesting. What are those?
We'll get into them later, but I really love the scenes where it is the car chase scene, where she, like, it's the hills, and then she like stops the car, and then that whole scene. I think that is such a great scene. But also, and I think this is a bit of a quieter moment in the film, but it just sticks with me so much. The scene when she's in the bathroom at prom and Deandra comes for her. I love that scene a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I think it's acted so well from both. I think, what's that actress's name? I love her. Regina Hall. Mm-hmm. I think she is... I love her from the Scary Movie films. I love seeing her being able to make the jump to this drama so well. I think they have such a great dynamic in that scene, and I think like the slow ease into, hey, I know your world is being blown right now. All of the crazy stuff that your dad said is real right now. And I love being able to see like so many of her thoughts racing through her head in that scene, but she's trying to keep such a straight face in the moment of something that's like, I have to trust you with my life. And I was just at the prom doing like a forgettable action like 2 seconds ago, and now my life is in danger. I love how she acts that.
Yeah, I agree. I would say those two scenes, and then I also really like the entire sequence of when the DNA test is going on. I think her and
really
Sean Penn do a phenomenal job together in their own way different ways, obviously. Yes. But I think it works really well. So, yeah.
No, absolutely. I think she's so talented. I would love to see her on the awards circuit. Yeah. If I had to do a second up, and I think Leonardo DiCaprio does a great job here. I think this is definitely one of my favorite performances of him. But next up, I would actually nominate Benicio del Toro. Yeah. I wanted to get into talk about him because he is so fun in this movie.
He's awesome.
I still wasn't able to see not the French Dispatch.
Asteroid City?
Not Asteroid City. The one this year.
What is the new one? I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what it was.
Hold on, I'll find it.
Look it up.
But he is so good here, and he's the lead of that movie, and it makes me actually much more interested in seeing it. And he's the Collector. Not me forgetting he's the Collector from Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's great.
The Phoenician Scheme.
Too. Yes. Yeah.
I've heard not great things about it, but now with Benicio, after seeing him in this movie, I fear I aggressively really want to see it now still.
Yeah. Just for him, if nothing else. So.
No. He just completely, even though he has such a stoic demeanor a lot of the movie, next to a very panicked Bob, it's such a great and compelling dynamic. Yeah. Craziness is around him, but he's so used to it, and he's so snappy. Yeah. But he's still so personable at the same time. Yep. That performance is just so. And then he just gets fun when he's arrested and is how many beers did you have? I don't know, man.
Just a few.
Put your hands on your head. And he's
okay.
He's so fun. Yeah. But it's still such a comedic performance, even though I would say it's reminiscent of Liam Neeson in The Naked Gun, where it's funny because you have this person giving it their all in a more crazy situation. Fun. But it's a very serious character. Yeah. I would say that's comparable, but he's in a drama, not a comedy. But I think it still works in a very similar way.
Yeah, he's definitely giving what his character is. He's giving it his all, for sure. And I think that's great. Good shout out.
So, super love. I think him getting a supporting actor nom for this, I would absolutely adore that. And then I would say Leonardo DiCaprio's lead actor.
Yeah. I think he did good. I would not be surprised if I saw both him and Michael B. Jordan in.
And what a race that would be.
I mean, I would personally give it to Michael B. Jordan, but especially because he hasn't. He hasn't won before.
I don't think so.
I mean, not that the Oscars care about that. They give people second Oscars all the time.
No, but I think I would love to see Michael B. Jordan on the awards circuit. I think Leonardo DiCaprio and him being just in the nomination running for all of these different things.
So fun.
I think that's a huge poll. I think it would be. I think these Academy and all of the different organizations need to think about how you get people to tune into your award shows and nominating people that people are
like and are watching, and
the performances that people are looked at. They don't always do that. So I hope they will get over kind of a stigma that because they did good at the box office, they don't need an awards.
God, I hope not.
So Would love to see both of those
Anyways,
names in the hat.
see.
I think there's a lot of talented people who deserve to be recognized. What is our next talking point? I think we talked a
Also,
lot about these characters.
I might say her name wrong, but Alana Haim from Licorice Pizza. She's also from the Haim sisters or Haim sisters, however you say that. I love them, but I don't know how to say their last name. I'm so sorry.
We'll go with Haim, and we apologize if we're
incorrect. She's great. It was so fun to see her face in this film. Oh my gosh, I wish she was in it longer, but if you want to see more of her, watch Licorice Pizza because she's great.
Yeah,
in that
she's just so good in Licorice Pizza.
Yeah,
it was very interesting to see her and be like, oh my gosh, that's her. And then we see her again, and it's like, oh, she's got a bob. Love that. And then she dies, and I'm like, ah!
No, my Shayla! No! Anyways, no, but that was really, really fun. There's somebody else. Oh, I don't know what the actor's name because I haven't seen him in anything else, I'm pretty sure, but Scandal. But the guy who plays the president in Scandal, right next to Kerry Washington, he's in this film.
Who is he?
He's the director guy.
Right, of the Christmas Adventure Club.
Yes, yeah.
I thought that whole little organization did a good job.
Yeah. I mean, he's amazing in Scandal. I mean, Kerry Washington is by far the lead of that show, like, in more ways than one. But they have a great dynamic in that show. I mean, they're like, if you had to pick one couple they're not actually a couple in real life, but like everybody basically acts like they act like they are. If you had to pick one of those, it'd be them. That's how crazy. They're like wild for each other and they're both married.
Damn.
But it's they are wild for each other. So anyways, it's always very funny to see him pop up in things.
We talked about her character earlier, but I did just want to shout out Teyana Taylor as Perfida Beverly Hills. She's like lightning in a bottle in this movie, but she doesn't say a whole lot, but such a lasting impact on it, and a lot of like the unanswered things come from her performance, which I think is done really well. Yeah,
I agree. I think it's always very fun when you are playing a character, when you see someone playing a character that you can't quite figure out, but they still, as an actor, have to play the part a certain way. So the fact that we still can't figure it out, not only because of the writing, but also her performance, I think I want to shout that out. So
yeah, absolutely. And none of the characters can figure her out either. She's an enigma truly to everyone. And I think that portrays to the audience really well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also wanted to point out with her, I feel like in Act 1, there's very much a group that Leonardo DiCaprio's with, where they're very much like, you do your own thing, like if you get caught, like you're on your own, and then later we see such a sense of community where they have each other's backs, a different community. They protect each other, they hide each other, they have a plan that clearly everybody knows enough about to know what they need to do, and they're not on their own. They support each other and they help each other out. Like I said earlier with Leonardo DiCaprio, when he gets separated, falls down a tree, they go back for him in their own way. So I think that's awesome. Just a interesting comparison, I would say. Not necessarily that one is like totally wrong and one's totally right, but I think that opens an interesting discussion.
For sure.
So, yeah.
I think that's a lot of our talk about the actors. I now want to move over to our man Paul Thomas Anderson himself, our director of this movie. So, and also a writer on this movie as well. Mm-hmm. How do we think he did? You think he's gone places?
I mean, I think he did great. I think he better get nominated for directing. So, I better see his name up there.
Was Licorice Pizza nominated for directing? Do you remember?
I don't know. I know it was nominated for Best Picture. I know that was one.
Yes, I remember that.
I probably directing as well. I don't know.
I will say
he's great though.
I'll
look it up.
Especially early on, I think the directing is such a pull for this movie. Mm-hmm. It's just so strong. I feel like the way like the, I don't know if it's like the lighting or like the camera saturation, but something about the shots look and are like lit is very captivating.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all of like the different scenes and all of the places we go are just so exciting. Like it uses its space really well. And I don't feel like they repeat themselves. I feel like everything feels very original and very new.
He was nominated for director, and he was the writer of Licorice Pizza, so best original screenplay. So they didn't win anything, but best picture, director,
I'm glad
and
he got
screenplay.
nominations for it.
Me too. And I hope we see a very similar thing here.
I would
and
be
then
surprised
add
if
some
he doesn't.
acting.
I think I think writing here is super strong. Directing here is super strong. What do you think about cinematography?
I don't know. I was thinking about this. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I don't think, at least off the top of my head. We'll have to see what other ones I would want to be there. But I was saying when we saw it how nothing really like stuck out to me as like, wow, this needs to be nominated for cinematography. But nothing was bad either. It was just like a well-made, a well-shot film. I will say, I'm guessing the scene where they're going over.
Yep,
and up
that's
the
exactly
hill.
what I was thinking.
I
that's
think
a standout for me.
Yeah, I think that's what would earn it a nom, if nothing else. So
I would agree.
yeah.
I would say if it doesn't get a nom, I wouldn't be upset. But for those other categories, I would.
Yeah, me too. Those three for sure, and then it needs at least one or two acting noms, I think.
For sure.
So, yeah.
So we think he did great.
Maybe score as well.
Oh, thank you for bringing up the score. I actually really liked the score.
Me too.
I appreciate a good score. Sometimes when I'm like locked into a movie, it's not always something I can like focus on. Mm-hmm. I loved what they did here, that I like noticed the score a pretty decent amount.
Yeah, me too.
And I like, there's two moments where I like really noticed the score, and it was either like an intense, like I think I noticed it on the rooftop scene, and it's like brrr, and it's like very heavy and it's very dramatic, I guess is maybe the right way to say that. And then also I think early on when they're like in the store and they're like wrapping up and being like, cool, we're about to get raided, we got to get people out to the tunnels. Hey, we prepared for this.
Yeah.
I need you to watch the store. I'm so sorry. I know you had something to do, but I need you to do this. And they're like, yep, no, got it.
Those two and the car scene.
And
I would say.
like the keys, like the piano keys going, the ding 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 ding. It's such a simple score in those parts, and like that's directly from the trailer, but it just works so well within the scene itself. I think it adds so much to, especially when like things go quiet and it's just the score. It adds such like a oh my gosh, this is very intense, but everyone's acting like this is a very normal thing to happen. Yeah, I think it elevates the scene so much, which is like a perfect what you want your score to do.
Yep.
Loved
the tension. So there you
go. Any other scene shout outs?
The bathroom scene. I shouted out. I didn't shout this out, I don't think. I mentioned when she's when the DNA test is going on, but after that, when they start putting her in different cars and she gets handcuffed and all these things, and she's fighting when she can, and I think that whole scene is really good. That's kind of like, I would say that I would split it up into like the DNA scene and then the capturing scene and then the escape scene with the car scene. I would split those up, but all three are phenomenal. And even if you count it as one, that's a really, really long, phenomenal scene. So yeah, and you shouted out prom. I would say like, there was something. Also, the other side of the car scene with Bob's perspective, I think I wanted to shout out that too. Just like them trying to find each other. Him trying to figure out which direction to go, and most of the time he's going the wrong way, but then eventually he figures it out. The tuck and roll scene is funny.
The tuck and roll scene is very funny.
I wanted to shout out, which we like vaguely talked about it, but I want to talk about it specifically. When he's in the hospital and they say like, you have diabetes, right? You didn't take your medicine, right?
No, I love that scene. I think that actress, bless her, I couldn't find her name, but she's awesome. She killed that scene. It's such a quick scene. Yeah. But hey, look at me. Are you diabetic?
You're diabetic, right? You didn't take your medicine yesterday, right? That's awesome.
So great.
Yeah.
Ate that.
Mm-hmm.
Ate.
Yeah.
So.
I also like the scene, or maybe not the scene necessarily, but the line when, what's her name? Not Deandra. Perfida?
Perfida.
When she's pregnant and she's sleeping and he's talking to people and he's saying, sometimes I don't think she realizes she's pregnant or having a baby. I don't know why. I loved that line. I think that just like added to the curiosity of her character, I would say. Of just like,
yeah, this major life change is happening to you and you're acting like it's not even happening.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's something like so big that even though it hasn't happened yet, everyone else can visibly see it.
Yeah. So I don't know why that stuck with me so much, but I just wanted to shout out that line specifically. Yeah. I just couldn't figure her out. But it's kind of fun. Like it makes you think about it and talk about it, and that's fun to do. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
We've talked about it, but in a scene shout out mention, I want to mention the extended sequence of getting to Benicio del Toro's store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Through the roof chase, like jumping from roof to roof and then collapsing down the tree and immediately getting tased.
That's crazy.
So
yeah.
Those scenes are just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Mwah. Chef's kiss.
It really is. Like it's like the whole movie. Shout out to the whole movie. Really. So
it's just so well done. So we talked a lot about awards. Reception. Let me take a look at where its scores currently sit. On Letterboxd, it's at a 4.5 out of 5, which makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
On IMDb, I'm looking at... Come on. IMDb, what do you think IMDb is at? Out of 10.
8.7.
8.5 out of 10.
I was close.
We're close.
Yeah.
What do you think the critic score is? Did you manage to catch that at all?
No, not at all. 89.
Critic score is at a 96.
Good. I was hoping it was higher, if anything.
And what do you think audience is at?
I'll say 89 again, I guess. I don't know.
It is an 85.
Aw, okay.
Scooch lower.
I guess I can understand because that goes with our conversation of did all the audience members know what they were getting into? So I could see some of them not, and then that's their way of complaining about it.
And I also feel like for the people who are against the revolution on that reveal of what the revolution is,
yeah,
I can see them being very upset about what the movie is.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but
nice.
so great.
Okay.
What do you think? Ooh, let me go ahead and check and see if the numbers have come in for it yet for this weekend.
I see the numbers.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Is it? Okay, I want you to get a hint. Is it the #1 movie of the weekend?
No, but as far as new releases, yes. Well, no, wait, sorry. Yes, it is. Sorry.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Freaking
My
Demon
bad.
Slayer is going at it.
My bad. I was thinking Demon Slayer, but that's just because overall it's made more. So then I was like, wait, no, like it wasn't the #1 spot. So yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna guess 48.
Very close. 48.5.
Oh my gosh! I basically nailed that.
Yep. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Good for this movie too.
That's awesome.
So, from what you saw, did those numbers are updated, or not yet? Because usually it's around 12 to 12:30 where I feel like they update for.
Around that,
Saturday
let me look
numbers.
if they dropped it. Domestic chart for September 5th. Yep. So that was 22.5, about 22.5 domestic. So I'm gonna guess it did pretty close to that internationally too. That's a pretty even split.
Yeah. which is good.
I will say, I'm almost maybe a little surprised that it isn't leaning more domestic.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting. So,
well, I mean, there's, we're not the only country that deals with that,
For
I
sure.
guess. So,
But I mean, look at Sinners. We're not the only nation that deals with vampires.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
where is my okay? So projections for One Battle After Another. What do you think the end box office is going to be?
gosh, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna get good word of mouth. It's already getting good word of mouth. It is a little long, so I don't know how many people are gonna rewatch it necessarily. But international numbers look good. I think it's definitely gonna cross the century mark for sure. But I'm wondering how much from there. What are you thinking?
I think it's going to be really close to the century mark. I would say if it was in the 50s, I think it would have. I think I would have said it easily cleared the century mark. Mm-hmm. With 40s, I think it's up in the air. I think it'll get really close on either side of the century mark, if I had to guess.
I'm going to be maybe a little hopeful for it, and I'm going to say like a solid 120.
120. Okay.
I don't know, because I feel like the international numbers look pretty good. And
I'm gonna bet right on that century mark. I'm gonna say 100,000.
Okay.
100 billion.
100 million.
$100 billion. Mr. Evil Money. 100 million.
Yeah. Anyways.
But no, I think. Do we have the budget on it? Actually, I'm actually very curious for what budget this movie was made.
140 million. Damn.
Oof.
That is really high, I will say.
I think it is clearly an awards grab, though.
Yeah.
Well, grab, I think, makes it sound a little cheap. I think it is easily an awards contender.
Okay.
So, I think as long as, hopefully I think you need to get a win for this money.
Yeah. Yeah.
to not be get a check to do this again.
Yeah. But I mean, you had some big names here. You had some really big scenes. A lot of different there's a word I'm looking for, but they went to a lot of different places, so sets. Yeah.
A lot of different filming locations.
So
I will say I think the action is very ambitious, like with the car scenes.
Yes.
Different places of doing action. Yeah, I say
I can see where the budget went for sure.
But still, I'm a little surprised by it.
that's pretty high, but
man, maybe Leonardo is just a lot these days, rightfully so. But
yeah,
whew.
Yeah,
very very interesting. So yeah, how do you feel knowing that even your hopeful guess wasn't near the budget amount?
Well, it was near.
It was near, but
because
also I feel like this movie was advertised a decent bit as well. So it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, it's an awards film, so they didn't nominate it. They didn't advertise it as much as they do blockbusters. This was the movie of the weekend.
I don't know. I think they're fine. I think that's what's fun about Warner Brothers. I mean, the Warner Brothers are doing fine.
It's a great year
wise.
for them.
Yeah,
sure.
I don't think they're too worried about it. I'm not too worried about it. It evens out well enough. They got the Minecraft movie. You know what? I'm thankful for the Minecraft movie because it went towards. I'm gonna say it went towards this film, and that's worth it to me. So there you go. Yeah, I'm not mad about it. I'm surprised, but I'm not mad about it. So there you go. They'll be fine.
It'll buff.
It's okay. Yeah,
It'll
they got
buff.
Leonardo DiCaprio, so they're okay.
Yeah,
and I do think this is gonna be awards. So
I also think it's gonna do really good on streaming and digital.
Yeah.
I think especially digital, it's gonna do really good.
I agree.
So, any other talking points before we close out the episode?
I don't think so. That was fun. I'm glad we made an episode about it. Going in, we were both like, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. And then right after, we were like, oh yeah, we're making a video on that. So.
And I feel like I didn't know exactly how much I was going to be able to talk about this movie until I made the like outline for it. It's just great on like almost every single aspect. It's like peak almost every single aspect. So, ooh, actually, on awards, do you think Score's gonna get nominated?
Oh, I hope so. That's why I was bringing it up earlier, because I think it deserves to. I think it will. I think so.
There have been some great scores. I would say great scores from even like blockbusters.
I don't think it's gonna win. Like I feel like Sinners is pretty locked in for that. I would say.
To be fair, off the top of my head, I can't remember the Sinners theme, like the Sinners score. Like there's a lot of original music that's really great in it, but that's like songs. Off the top of my head, I can't think of the score. And this one is definitely gonna stick with me.
Yeah, that's fair. I can remember some, but yeah, I think I'm thinking more music as well. So, anyways, I don't know.
Yeah, so that is our thoughts and praise on One Battle After Another. You can see it in theaters this weekend. We highly recommend that you do. Let us know. What did you think of this movie? What do you think are its awards chances?
Yeah.
And until next time, I'm your host, Luke.
And I'm your other host, Alicia.
And thank you so much for watching Not So Straight Nerds.
Bye-bye.